ever pondered the origins of the hearty, savoury dish known as haggis? This culinary delight, with its rich and complex history, is a tale that spans centuries and crosses continents. Haggis, as we know it today, is distinctively Scottish, but it would be remiss not to mention that similar dishes, though bearing different names, have been produced in many countries. The first written recipes for a dish by the name of haggis, made with offal and herbs, date back to around 1430 in Lancashire, northwest England. These verses from the cookbook Liber Cure Cockerum lay out a rudimentary recipe for this early form of haggis. A little later, before 1520, the Scottish poem Flyting of Dunbar and Kennedy makes reference to haggis. This early mention in Scottish literature further cements the connection between haggis and Scottish culture. The 17th century brought a more detailed recipe for haggis, appearing in the English Housewife by Gervase Markham in 1615. This recipe talks of oatmeal mixed with blood and the liver of either sheep, calf, or swine, making the pudding known as haggis or haggis. Food writer Alan Davidson suggests an even earlier origin of haggis-type products, taking us back to ancient Rome. The dish was born of necessity as a way to utilize inexpensive cuts of meat and innards. Clarissa Dickson Wright, a well-known culinary figure, suggests that haggis came to Scotland from Scandinavia, even before Scotland was a single nation. She cites etymologist Walter William Skeat, who draws a connection between the word haggis and the Old Norse hagur, or the Old Icelandic hogvar, both related to chopping, which is indeed a key part of preparing the dish. In her book, The Haggis: A Little History, Dickson Wright also proposes that haggis was invented as a method of cooking quick-spoiling offal near a hunt site, eliminating the need for an extra cooking vessel. The liver and kidneys could be grilled directly over a fire, but the stomach, intestines, or lungs required a different treatment. Chopping up the lungs and stuffing the stomach with them, along with whatever fillers might have been on hand, then boiling the assembly, ensured these parts were not wasted. The traditional haggis recipe, as we know it today, involves an ox bung, lamb's pluck, beef or lamb trimmings, or stewing steak, suet, and coarse oatmeal. Seasoning includes ground black pepper, finely grated nutmeg, freshly ground coriander seeds, and fine sea salt. In conclusion, the history of haggis is a fascinating journey from ancient Rome to Scandinavia, and finally to Scotland, where it became a national dish. Born of necessity, haggis has evolved over centuries, crossing borders and adapting to the times, while always maintaining its unique character. From early recipes in verse cookbooks, to mentions in Scottish literature, and from the kitchens of English housewives to the culinary traditions of Scandinavia, haggis is indeed a dish that tells a rich and captivating story.